Sometimes the best way to survive a recession is to pick a recession-resilient career. That means a job or a role that will survive a recession better because demand for that particular role is either recession-proof or recession-resilient. Nothing is recession-proof. Or it is about to go into higher demand than the role that you're in right now. And for data professionals, there is one pivot that is extraordinarily effective, and that is into a data product manager role. Why? Well, one of the biggest struggles that businesses are having right now is that they are struggling to turn all of these data initiatives into some form of revenue, some sort of a return on investment. And you hear that all the time. Every one of the surveys that gets shared out widely talks about how few projects ever make it into production, and when they do, they don't return value. A lot of fixing that comes from a data product manager, someone who can help the business focus on products from day one. And this is something data teams struggle with. That disconnect. We talk about the silo, but it's not really even a silo thing where data teams aren't talking to other organizations. It's that data teams aren't getting the right information from organizations, other leaders, customers, anyone that's going to put their hands on data products and what the data team produces gives feedback, but is it the kind of feedback that you need in order to make a successful initiative or give them something that they actually want? That's what a data product manager does, and they make it a focus on the product, the end goal, the thing that's going to be valuable and useful and customers will love and pay for. But they also make it a focus on production grade from day one. If it's not this sort of pie in the sky initiative, your product manager is going to bring that focus. It's no longer this big pie in the sky amorphous thing. Now it's going to go from day one into the hands of someone. And so it has to be built like it will make it into production, like it will make it into a product or become a product on its own. And that changes a lot of how we build and what we create and how seriously we take things like best practices and that path to production, ML ops, and so on. The next is really a strong connection to customer needs and marketplace opportunities. It's not just about understanding the customer could use this, but it's connecting initiatives with needs, something that customers will readily adopt and pay for because it solves a problem for them or does something cool or incredible for them that they're willing to pay money for. The second half of that, the opportunity, market opportunities, seeing the potential, especially with an innovative technology like data science, seeing the potential to meet people's needs in new ways or meet needs that people didn't understand could be met by technology. Product managers do that, and it's a big part of value creation and keeping all the initiatives close to value. This is something else that happens with data teams is our work goes off the rails when we get too far into the technology, too far into the cool models and approaches and massive amounts of data. And what a product manager can do for a data team is do those regular check-ins. Sometimes it's once a week, sometimes it's even more frequent than that, where they make sure that what's being done, the work that's being completed, the products that are being delivered, stay close to those customer needs, marketplace opportunities, so they are a regular anchor back to business value, back to something someone will pay for. At the very end of the day, that's critical. So what do you need to transition from where you are now as a data scientist, data engineer, machine learning engineer, data analyst into a product manager role? And I listed all of those because the first thing you need is obviously technical acumen, technical background. I don't think you can be a great product manager in the data space unless you have that technical knowledge and expertise. Some product managers never do hands-on development, which is fine. Some product managers are traditional technical digital product managers who had a software background or some background like that, went into product management, did a master's degree or some sort of intensive training on data science and then pivoted to a data product manager role. Those are all valid paths into the field, but you do need a technical background. Because if you don't understand the technology, if you don't understand what people are working on, how can you keep it close to value? How can you figure out what opportunities are out there if you don't understand the technology and what it can do? What is feasible from a technology standpoint, not just a cool beanbag thinking idea standpoint. The second piece is completely underrated, but it is critical because product managers they have the title of product manager. Most of the groups that they work with, they don't have any sort of true leadership authority. So they have to lead without authority. They have to be able to build coalitions, bring people together, get them behind the idea, the value proposition, and everything else that makes multiple groups across the organization align behind a particular initiative to get the job done, because they aren't the CEO. They aren't one of these people that has broad-ranging authority. And so we need to be able to lead without authority. We need to be able to get people to do things by building consensus around the initiative and the end goal. Next, obviously, business acumen and domain expertise. And when I say business acumen, it's strategic knowledge, the ability to understand how value is created, how it is delivered to customers, and how to create that return mechanism so that customers pay for what it is that we deliver to them. But domain expertise is actually something different. It is an understanding of the particular domain, the industry that the business operates in. So if we're building a product for retail clients who are businesses, it's that retail B2B software. That's your domain. And really understanding the customer comes from understanding the domain. Understanding the marketplace comes from understanding the domain. It gives you a richer, better ability to define products, connect with needs, really empathize with the people that will be using the product. And it's that marketplace knowledge, understanding the dynamics of the market and who are the other players in the market, what products are out there, what products are soon to be released, who's competing with us. Those are all pieces of that business acumen, domain expertise, and market knowledge or industry knowledge. Those are all very critical. And many product managers are niched into a particular domain and industry. However, business acumen, a little bit bigger umbrella term, but they are all pretty well related to each other. Some of the core activities that a product manager uses those capabilities to be successful with. Opportunity size estimation. This is very important. Being able to say, I've got this idea, and then estimate the size of the opportunity. How much money potentially could we be making? How many customers are out there? All of those are important when it comes to making that pitch, getting approval and buy-in, which is something else data science teams really struggle with. And so someone who can do that opportunity size estimation has a greater chance of success getting buy-in for initiatives. Next, project cost estimation. Here's the other side of it. Here's the opportunity, but here's how much it's going to cost. These are everything from time estimates to how much hardware are we going to be using, infrastructure, resources, all of it. Competitive analysis. Who else is in this space? Who else could potentially enter this space soon? What other products are out there? What other competing and alternative products are out there? What does that mean for this particular initiative, for the opportunity, for the go-to-market strategy? All of those require someone who can understand and complete a competitive analysis. Now, what I've been talking about relies heavily on research capabilities, which, hey, data scientists are actually really good at this. That's why I say this is such a great transition. The only piece that we're really missing is that domain expertise, but for someone that's been working in a particular area for 5, maybe 6 years, that's really there. They have the domain expertise and likely some market knowledge and some market experience. So we do research to estimate the opportunity size, determine costs, do the competitive analysis. And what we're researching is product, market, customer, and pricing. We're trying to build all those out based on the research that we do customer marketplace and so on, trying to figure out how many customers, what is our total addressable market, how many people would actually buy this thing, what will they pay for it. These all require research. And as data scientists, we're actually really good at this. Most of that research is either done through surveying, and we have a great background in creating high quality surveys, or by observational studies through data, what we do on a daily basis. Just gathering the data and making the case for a particular product or that initiative that you're proposing. You need to understand what data product strategy is, because data products are fundamentally different from other kinds of digital software-based products. We have a different type of technology. This is why I say technical acumen is very important for this role, because to understand data product strategy, you have to understand the difference between a data-supported product or a model-supported product where we are serving inference and people are paying for inference. Think Microsoft's Copilot. Very good example. People are paying for inference. We have to understand how that's different. There's no specification for Copilot. I can't tell you when it will work perfectly and when it will work imperfectly. But there's also no narrow scope of functionality. It could work across multiple scenarios that are too broad to be defined by a basic requirements document. And so that's the difference, is data science, machine learning. What we deliver, those models don't work perfectly in the same way that software does with a very narrow number of use cases. They work most of the time. They work frequently. They function over an extraordinarily wide range of potential use cases. So they are different. And that requires a different type of product strategy. Obviously, communications, negotiation skills, and coalition building, those are critical to being a successful product manager. One of the things that's overlooked is an understanding of marketing and the ability to sell. Having that sales background isn't a bad thing. So if you do have a sales background, or if your domain expertise extends to marketing, that's awesome. And then finally, time management and prioritization, not just your own, but everyone else's. Making sure the people that are working on this product are focused on the highest value activities that they could be performing. And so that concept of time management and prioritization is absolutely critical, because every product manager, one of the highest end skills that they have is the ability to prioritize and to evaluate trade-offs where you can't do both or you can't have both. And so you have to figure out which one. Which side of this will I choose if I have to cut 2 features? Which of the 5 am I going to cut? It's prioritization. Those are all the important and critical skills. How do you get those? Where can you go to get them? Well, like I said, you already come to this with a technical background. You probably have some domain expertise, some market knowledge, and doing basic research can get you up to speed on the marketplace very quickly. Just understanding the competitors, products, customers, that's fairly easy to get through basic research. And this information is everywhere. Everyone, every industry, I should say, has a ton of industry publications and research that's out there. So that knowledge is not actually that hard to get. It's the data product strategy, which is a bit difficult. I teach classes on data product strategy, but you can look and find books online. There are more and more authors out there talking about data product strategy. There are a number of podcasts available. And so just Googling data product strategy, you are going to get the phone book. And it's great to get a sampling. I mean, you're probably asking, okay, you want me to give you a recommendation? Well, outside of recommending my own content, I think you should explore and find the type of content that resonates best for your particular industry and the challenges that it faces. Because everyone comes at data product strategy with a slightly different approach, and it's all built around the types of data products that we've delivered and the success that we've had. We all have different approaches to it. So I would say sample. See which ones best meet your needs, best fit your particular approach and framework, and select them. Don't let someone like me tell you, hey, just do this person and this person, because maybe it works, maybe it doesn't for you. It's better to do your own homework and find your own influencers and resources. Don't listen to people like me. Communications, negotiation, and coalition building, you can take courses. Many universities offer sort of these adjunct continuing education, continuing studies, after hours education. Those are all great places to learn communication, negotiation, and coalition building. Again, there's tons of books out there on it. If you're not great at sales and marketing, those capabilities are far more difficult to develop. If you've never sold before, selling's a hard thing to do. Find people in the business who have done sales. And I'm not talking about other technical people. I mean, just go to your sales organization. Ask what their development curriculum looks like. Do they have development programs? Do they recommend resources? And take those and begin from that point. Great way to upskill around these different areas is look around you for resources. See who in your business is an expert in that area and ask them, what would you recommend? That's a great way because obviously, those people have a track record of success. It's not just some rando on the internet. They will be people that will give you great resources. So talk with them and get their ideas, get their game plan and roadmap for learning into this. Talk to other product managers. See if you can find some data product managers and ask them, hey, what's your learning path? What would you recommend if I'm trying to get to where you are? Network. Join groups, Slack chats. These things are everywhere. Find them, participate, listen, learn. In about 6 months, you can get most of the capabilities that you need to get into an entry-level data product management role. And that's going to recession not proof because nothing is guaranteed during an economic downturn. But data product management roles are much more resilient because they are so much more connected with value creation. And that's one of the front of mind needs for C-level executives right now. They understand how valuable a product manager is because every product manager is a multiplier for the data team that makes them more valuable and helps get more of that return on investment out of the same number of resources. You're far less likely to be downsized. So this is just the first of a few roles that I'm going to introduce you to, if this series is popular, that are going to be more resilient to a recession.